Hello Guardians, Tristan DeRaven here again this week with a second prison video. I just wanted to show you guys that you don't have to do it on Warlock with the grenade points bonus, even though that's probably the easiest one to do it on. So I'm showing you how to do it here with the Hunter. We're going to stick with the same strategy for each of the rooms. The only thing that we're going to do different here though is we're going to use our super a lot more. Now we're going to do this on Blade Dancer due to the fact that on Blade Dancer when you get a kill, not only do you get the super points, but you also get melee and orb creation points, so you can really rack them up fast. Which, combined with being patient with your grenades and precision shots, can get you to that 30k bonus for your weapons package. Now the first room here is going to be taken Hive, and basically, you know, just like we always do, we're going to stay in the front, do all of our killing from there, and then when it comes time for boss DPS, we're going to transition to the back right side of the room. Now, once the fighting starts, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit, again, just in the time and that sort of thing, so that it doesn't take too long here. So we'll go ahead and just concentrate on grenades, and we're also going to swap some gear when it comes time for supers. So it's going to be important to go ahead and stay patient, to not let yourself get flustered and resort to shooting everything, but using the grenades as much as possible. And then when it does come time to use your super, you want to go ahead and switch out gear. Now I'm using the Tarantella along with the helmet that extends Blade Dancer, so that's going to be a huge benefit. So just stick to your plan and everything should go just fine. Now it's important to know when to save a node and when to just go ahead and shoot, or to waste a nade before boss DPS and that sort of thing. So right there, instead of using the nade, I just went ahead and cleaned up those last ads so that I built the super, and that way I'll have a grenade ready to go after we're done DPSing. So just like always, once we've cleared out the ads or we don't have anything that we can see to shoot at, we go ahead and DPS. This guy's super easy, not very difficult. Even when he spawns in new ads, it's not very hard at all. That little alleyway is a great place to pop super, just because there's a big group of ads there. Now I did make a mistake and I didn't switch out my gear like I should have. I should have come down here to where I'm at now, head out behind that pillar, and then swapped out my stuff, but I forgot to do that. I'm just using heavy just for top ads, quick boss DPS, or to get myself out of tight spots. I know that this week there is a bounty for heavy weapon kills, but heavy weapon kills unfortunately don't give you bonus points. So with the Hunter, you need all the points you can. So again, we've cleared out the ads, we got nothing left to shoot, well except for that guy right there, I guess. I forgot about him. So now we're just going to transition and we're just going to go for boss DPS again. Now really the big thing you need to watch out for with the boss is just the lava cube. The boomer shots don't really hurt all that much, and they're easy to avoid. I've got my super, but I'm going to wait for the right time, and here you can see I'm swapping out my gear. You want to be smart about using this, as the run really depends on maximizing your super as well as using your nades and being patient and not killing everything in sight while you're waiting for that super or that grenade energy to build. That's where that Tarantella comes into play, because your arc grenades as well as the super charge faster with it. I timed it, and your grenade comes in 3 seconds faster, but your super actually comes in 30 seconds faster than without it. So it really does help out quite a bit, especially since Blade Dancer doesn't have a dual grenade option. So again, we just wiped out the ads, coming back here for some more boss DPS. Again, guys, this is a pretty easy room. Just stick to the plan, stay patient while your grenades are recharging. Really the last thing you want to do is, if you've got your intellect and discipline maxed out, it takes 25 seconds for your grenade to come in and 4 minutes for your super if you're not killing anything. So just stay patient for those 25 seconds. If you've got gear that charges your grenade faster with like melee kills, don't be afraid to use one or two. but just don't go shooting everything while you're waiting for that grenade to recharge. Now I probably could have saved the super, but I'm doing pretty good on points, and I wanted to save time. Also, I got a little itchy there on the super usage, and I actually forgot to swap out gear. So that was a little bit of a mistake, but if you look at the points where I'm at now, it's not too bad. It's not like it's going to cost me big time or anything. So if that happens to you, no big deal. Or if you don't have that gear available to you, that's okay too. Just make sure that you pick your time when to use that super. Make sure you got plenty of ads, or if you're in a really tight spot or something along those lines. If you're a little lower on light, don't be intimidated by these rooms. Again, this was built with, light level of 330s in mind. So if you're 360, 380, something along those lines, you can easily do this as well. Again, just come up with a plan, stick to it, stay patient, and if something goes wrong, just don't repeat your mistake the next time you go in. Concentrate on ads. If you need to use your primary, you're going for precision shots to maximize points. And then when you use that super, just be aware of those additional point bonuses that you get on the Blade Dancer. So there you see I swapped out my gear. Had to change the loadout a little bit because I forgot to put the extended arc blade option on because of some other stuff that I was doing earlier in the day. And here I'm just using my radar to identify where ads are. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, especially if they're above and below you, but trust the radar, trust your instincts. The room's not that big, you should do just fine. So here we're just going to go ahead and transition back to boss DPS. Again, you can't DPS from down here. I just don't like to, because when he does the lava puke, it makes it hard when he respawns ads to maneuver when there's a big pool right there. So don't forget this week that when you kill a boss, you want to do it with a grenade. That way you get those additional points rather than, I think it's what, this first room I think it's 45 points for a precision kill, but with a grenade you get more than that. Plus if you pick up a shiny, so those 3 coins are going to be important as well, guys, so don't forget about those. Then once the round's done, again, I like to run around, pick up any engrams, make sure my weapons are loaded, pop a 3 a coin, maybe check bounties, do that sort of stuff, and get myself ready for the next room. Alright, now for the second room, we've got the Fallen in that huge arena. Now they're just regular Fallen, they're not taken this week. So we're going to go ahead and use the cheese spot. This area I always find really difficult as far as points goes when I'm soloing, just because the area is so big. The ads will converge, but on you, especially if you're in the cheese spot, but they do tend to move around the map a lot, which makes using the grenades really difficult. So again, you want to try and use your grenades as much as possible, but your precision and super is going to be key as well. You're going to find that you're using precision shots a lot more, as well as your super. Now, if you're going to use this little cheese spot, just be careful of where you are, because if you're jumping around and stuff, you can easily fall off of it, which as a hunter is okay because you can recover. But if you're running Titan or Warlock, that's, game over for you. Unless you've got a sword equipped and maybe you can sword swing your way back up the hill there. Now, because this boss teleports around the map so much, you really want to DPS anytime you get the chance to. And if you're going for a precision shot on the boss, just remember, it's not the glowing thing, it's the dark spot in the middle of that little eye thing. Now you can see here on this super run where the ads tend to congregate, which is going to be important to know. Also, the sword vandals tend to kind of group up and attack you all together. So you may get an instance where you pop your super and you jump out of this spot and you're taking out some of the shanks there, and you turn around and you've got 4 or 5 sword vandals on top of you. Just be aware of that. Makes it nice for points, but they can wreck you really fast. And also, because the boss does teleport, you're going to have to come out of that spot and look for him every once in a while, because he moves to the ass end of every corner of this arena. So reinforcements are going to come back in. I like to kind of hang out just a little bit and let them kind of see where I'm at, because they will converge. But if you immediately go over to the spot here, it will take them a minute to kind of figure out where they're at, or where you're at, I should say, which takes up time. And obviously, the more time you take, then the more point penalty barracks can initiate. And later on this run, you'll see just how much that can affect you. Now the nice thing about this spot is that while you may have a sword vandal or two come close, they may kind of run up on you real quick, but they'll immediately back off. So don't worry about them overrunning you or anything along those lines. Again, when you're getting ready to use your super, just be aware, take a quick look of what's around. You can see a couple of those sword vandals just rushed up on me real quick, and then here's a few more. What you don't want to do is jump out thinking that you've got a bunch of guys right in front of you, and then only have 2 or 3. So take a moment to kind of look around, see where they're congregating, and then pop the super to jump out. Because again, in this room, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I always find it very difficult in this particular arena to maximize my points and get where I need to be, because again, in the second round, ideally you want to be at 15k in order to hit that 30,000 bonus. That way you don't have to push really hard in the last room to make up for any lost points that you had in this one. Now I did make a few mistakes in this room. You saw me swap gear a couple of times, but not every time. I probably used my primary just a little too much, and even though this G-spot is nice, I probably could have popped out a little bit more and been a little bit mobile and found some of the groups that are up towards the front and use my nades there, and just in the interest of time, as well as ammo conservation since juggler is on. But even though I make those mistakes and I don't finish this room at 15, I get pretty close. And again, you're going to see here in just a moment how those sword vandals tend to gather. So just be aware of that. Again, either if you're going to go out looking for the boss and you haven't cleared things out. Oh, and that's a good example right there. You saw how close that sword vandal got. That's about as close as they get. They don't really come over to where you're at if you go all the way down. But again, you can see how those sword vandals kind of group up. I don't know why these guys are running away from me. I guess I'm super scary because I'm so tough. But usually they're not that scared of you. Now here, I probably could have finished the boss off, but I kind of wanted to see if he would spawn in another round. I lost count of how many rounds there had been. And then I get hit with a point decrease, so I'm pretty close to where I want to be, and I thought I was going to be just fine. I thought I would finish the round at somewhere around 14, but I kind of take my time, missed that grenade shot and didn't want to wait another 25 seconds, so I just went ahead and finished him off. Now, I'm not too far away from the 15, so even if you don't finish at exactly 15, that's okay. You obviously want to be as close to it as possible. I think that, 13,000 you could probably make it up in that third room depending on, what it is that week. Fortunately for this week, the next room is taking Cabal, which they spawn in several rounds, not just the normal 3. So that makes it really nice as far as making up points. Now, in my opinion, this last room is probably the most dangerous of the 3. The ads are a little more aggressive in this room than in the previous 2, and they're not afraid of converging on you. There is a nice little safe spot up in the back left-hand side that you guys have seen me use in the past, or in my other video this week. And again, phalanxes tend to come in there, and they can't, if you're not paying attention to your radar, they do tend to sneak up behind you, 2 or 3 at a time, so just be careful of that. And again, we're just going to stick with the plan, concentrating with grenades as much as possible, but you're going to have to use your primary a little bit more, just due to the aggressive nature of the guys in this room, and also because this room's a little bit bigger than the Hive room, and they all don't just hang out in that little front area, they kind of spread themselves around. So again, we're just going to transition. We're going to go from the left, or from the right to the left, and then from the left to the right, and from the right to the left, and we're just going to keep doing that, either as we you're either getting overwhelmed or as we cleared out ads. The phalanxes make it really difficult to kill with grenades, especially with the hunter grenades, so you're going to want to have to watch out for that. What's nice about the room is that the ads do group up, especially here on this side, so you can get a couple of really nice super runs in. But be careful, because if you pop that super and the boss is anywhere near you, he does like to get right up in your face, especially on that right side, or I'm sorry, the left side there. And he does have a stomp melee attack that can one-shot you and absolutely ruin a run. You guys know how close that can come. You could have the best run in the world, and one death, which resets the room, can alter the whole dynamic. You may not have a super ready, you may not have your grenade charge, something along those lines, and that could actually cost you your weapons package. So for him, because he moves around so much, it makes precision shots really difficult. So I just like to throw in as much DPS as I can, as quick as I can. Because of the back and forth, it's hard to get just a pure DPS phase on that guy. Plus, he tends to kind of get stuck sometimes over on the other side back there, which again makes it difficult to get just pure DPS. Now you can see I'm using my primary on these phalanxes a little bit more than just the grenades. You'll see a couple of times on this run that I'll throw out a grenade into where there's 2 or 3 phalanxes, and I only get 1 kill because of their shield, because they're a little bit bigger than the scions. Now I've got my super, and I moved to this side because the boss was so close to where I was. And I probably again could have waited for a new ad round to spawn, but I wanted to just go ahead and clean up what was left, rather than hold on to it and have to reposition and go through that rigmarole for a super run. It was just better for me just to clean up what was there and then get an actual DPS phase on the boss. Now when I'm transitioning, especially after ads spawn in, I like to try and clear out my running lane as much as possible. Even though I'm at a higher light level, these ads, especially if you get a group of them together, their melees can wreck you pretty quick. And again, these phalanxes where I'm at now, they like to come around this side that I'm facing here 2 or 3 at a time. So definitely just have some, radar awareness when you're, shooting at stuff here. Don't just get, zeroed in on looking down sights and then have a couple of those phalanxes sneak up behind you and do their little, shield blast thing at you. That was a great rocket. I hit everything in the world there, didn't I? Do their shield blast thing and then, ruin this run. Now you can see that I've almost got my super again. Really at this point I was just concentrating on getting that super. And what I was thinking about doing was just staying there to be in a better position for my super run. But what I wanted to do was lure the boss to where I was, reposition, and then use my super on this side, hopefully without the boss coming in, and using that stomp melee or cutting it short. And you can see where the boss just landed just as I bought my super, and I got a little scared. Fortunately, there were enough ads over on this side here to where I made it an okay run. But really what I should have done was, as soon as I saw the boss there, I should have just cleaned up these ads, gone through a DPS phase, and then transitioned to the other side of the room and waited for new ads to spawn before using that super again, just to maximize those super points. Now if you take a look at my points here, you can see I'm about 5k-ish away from our goal of 30. And you may be thinking to yourself, that's too much, you're not going to be able to get there, especially this far into the round. But if you take a look at these point totals on some of these kill runs that I get, where I finish a run at 850, 490, 5,000 is not all that much, especially in this last room. the kills and the different types of kills: precision, regular, melee, grenade, super, anything. Oh, look at that! You see how these guys came up? That's a very dangerous situation. Those phalanxes can converge on you and can wreck you even at 400 light. So again, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it every time I'm in this room, just be careful of that. But like I was saying, this last room, any type of points that you get are actually increased for, you know, those types of kills, or, you know, whatever you're doing to get the points. So having a 5,000 point deficit isn't that much. What you need to do, though, because you're going to cut it really close, is, you know, kill what you can and do it fast. I really should have used my super in the sort of mid area to clean up and just get those points to hit 30,000 then. But I kind of, you know, I just wanted to stick to the plan. I didn't want to vary it all that much. I knew with the ads coming in that I could clean them up and I would be either right at or above 30,000. And again, I didn't want this spawn to go to waste, so that's why I popped the ad there. It actually ends up as a pretty decent run. As you can see, you know, we're at what, 2,175 points for that one run, plus, you know, there's a few of those little mini runs. So we're at 30,000 now, but we want to finish this fast before we get a point decrease. So, you know, if you're in this situation, do not take too long, because you can see we get a point decrease and we go from 30 to just under 30. And I, you know, wasn't confident that finishing the boss would give me as many points as I needed, but it actually worked out really well. And there we go, we're done, guys. Easy peasy. It's not as easy with the Warlock, but definitely doable, even with the few mistakes that I made. So, like I said, don't be intimidated to come in here and try it on, you know, a different class this week, guys. The Warlock, obviously, with the Vampire build is absolutely the easiest one to do it on, just because energy drain just feeds you grenades, and that just makes it super duper easy. But knowing how the point system works and how to maximize that to your advantage is going to be key, guys. The Sunbreaker Titan can do the same thing. I did a run on it earlier. I made a huge mistake in the second room. But I was able to finish that run, I think, with 28,000, like 200 and something. So I know I can hit 30,000 on a Sunbreaker. So don't be afraid to think outside the box. The Blade Dancer build is great for points because, again, you get the kill point, you get super points, you get melee points, and you get orb points if you generate an orb on one of those kills. So let's go ahead and shoot over to the reef. I'm going to see if I can't cut out some of the loading part for you guys, because waiting around isn't all that much fun, and we'll see what rewards we get. Alright, here we are on the reef. Let's go visit Varix and see if we get our claw. Why am I standing there? Okay, there we go, finally, jeez. Alright, drumroll, guys. Let's pop the package here, and we get her memory. Alright, maybe next week, guys. Happy playing. Thanks for watching.